Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Podcast channel. Live on iHeartRadio and the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Woo-hoo! It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we speak with Andrew Beckman, Studebaker National Museum. This is a first. I drive the 2023 Lincoln Navigator. I'll give you my impression of it. We'll also have the cruise-in calendar. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and I'll bring you some more stories making automotive news headlines. Just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with David Ainsley, making an rare in-studio appearance today. Mars is out with COVID. Well, we think he's got it. We don't want him to bring it here. Leave it at that. And we have King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us today. And joining us right now from the Studebaker National Museum is Andrew Beckman. Andrew, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing great. Where are you? Where is the Studebaker National Museum?
We are in South Bend, Indiana, actually enjoying a nice little summer rainstorm right now, so the perfect day to come down and check things out indoors.
Well, let me tell you something. We've had 105-degree heat, and rain sounds real good for us right now. We haven't had any in over a month, but make us jealous already. Tell us about the Andrew Beckman Studebaker National Museum. I guess you don't actually own it or have the naming rights to it, but you're standing inside of it.
Yes, the Studebaker National Museum has been around since the early 20th century. It's the Studebaker collection. It started as a corporate collection under the auspices of the Studebaker Brothers Manufacturing Company, which later became the Studebaker Corporation. And today we encompass about 120 wheeled vehicles from the horse-drawn era up until the very last Studebaker made. And we're also hosting a couple feature exhibitions right now as well.
Very nice. And was the Studebaker, all the Studebakers made in South Bend, Indiana?
Mostly. Their early automobiles were made in Detroit, and they also had plants in California and Canada. But the company headquarters was always centered in South Bend. Gotcha.
And where is South Bend in relationship to Indianapolis?
Due north of Indianapolis, about 150 miles. We're about 90 miles east of Chicago, just tucked right up close to the Michigan-Indiana state line.
Gotcha. And do you live there?
I do, yes. Yes.
Do you like living there?
Love it.
And is it a place that I want to visit there to the National Studebaker Museum?
Well, I can tell you it's not 105 degrees right now.
And we ain't coming. No.
Well, we ain't coming then, so there. No, I'm just teasing. I want to know about what's in the museum. You know, I'm a big car freak, and I love car museums. And I didn't even know a Studebaker museum existed, but I see the huge red letters there that say Lark. And I remember the Studebaker Lark. Probably the most popular car of the Studebaker line back in my day.
Kind of the last one they built was a Lark, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Lark body cars were the last Studebakers made, and yeah, tremendously popular. You see a lot of club members with those today.
And I was telling the story before we went on the air that my good friend Puss Wilson, his brother was named Kenneth Wilson, and this is way back in the 60s, and Kenneth had a Hawk. And I always made fun of it. Of course, understanding that I was in my early car years, in my early teens, and I just thought it was weird looking, and it fit his personality. But the car was an absolute rocket, from what I understand.
Yeah, if you got the Hawk, they could really keep up with anything, especially the Golden Hawks in the late 50s.
And do you have any of those Hawks in your collection there?
Yes, we do. We will show you those in just a couple minutes here. But just to give you an idea of the early history of the company, they were the world's largest builder of horse-drawn vehicles. And the first part of our museum is dedicated to some of the finest Studebaker horse-drawn vehicles in the land, everything from a hearse to basic two-passenger buggies to heavy farm equipment, all the way up until presidential carriages.
You know, it's funny because I get the feeling that that's obviously the beginning of the car era, and I can see that, oh, well, I'm going to go buy the Studebaker carriage as opposed to the Chevrolet carriage.
Well, yeah, there was no Chevrolet carriage. I mean, for that matter, the Studebaker was the world's brand standard for horse-drawn vehicles. They were worldwide. They were a global company in an era when most horse-drawn vehicle manufacturing was local or regional. I mean, the Studebaker was around the globe in fact the early 1880s.
That's truly amazing, and I did not know that, and I was just kind of kidding when I said the Chevrolet carriage, but you get my point.
Yeah, no other manufacturer.
But Studebaker had a brand name that was associated with highest quality of what they were building of the carriage field, so it was an easy transition for them to figure out how to put not necessarily a motor in their carriage, but put a motored vehicle on the road as well.
Right. And when did that transformation happen, when they went to motorized vehicles?
It was the early 20th century. In fact, their first automobile was in 1902. It was an electric, and gasoline-powered cars came in 1904, but they were still selling horse-drawn vehicles up until 1920.
So they were going through kind of like what we're going through now with ICE vehicles and EV vehicles.
Yep. Circle of life.
And for a period of about 18 years, and they actually partnered with early other kind of upstart companies to produce the automobiles under the Studebaker name. And when they were satisfied the automobile was here to stay, that's when they really jumped in feet first to the automobile market.
Truly amazing. How long has that museum been there?
We've been at our current location from 2005, but there has been a formal Studebaker museum since about 1916.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Yeah.
And it all been there in South Bend, Indiana.
Well, the forethought of having that museum, collecting all that and keeping it.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so keep walking us through the museum. I'm sorry to interrupt.
We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about our presidential carriage collection. Our camera woman, Joe, is focusing on the Abraham Lincoln carriage. This is the carriage President Lincoln took to Ford's Theater the night of his assassination. And it is one of 4 presidential carriages we have here in the collection. We see President Harrison's Brougham, President McKinley's Phaeton, we have President Grant's Landau over there in the corner if you want to see a true slice of American history, and also the Marquis de Lafayette's carriage. Coming up and see us in South Bend.
Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We got a city not too far from here called Lafayette. Or as they say.
That was named after a pirate.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Well, that was Jean Lafitte.
Lafayette.
Okay, fine. Never mind.
And then is this one of the? Oh, that's an electric. Okay, so you guys were doing it before Elon was.
That's right.
Before, from 1902 to 1911, Studebaker was producing both passenger and commercial electric vehicles.
It sounds to me like you got some guests there in the museum this morning.
And then back in the day, but Studebaker was considered kind of one of the top tier cars to buy, if I remember correctly.
Well, they were able to capture the momentum from the horse-drawn era, and in 1910, Studebaker was the number 2 car manufacturer in the United States until Mr. Ford for the Model T. So they really kind of settled into the upper medium.
That's interesting. He's indoors, so we're having a little trouble receiving his cell phone signal. But anyway, continue on. We got you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, as we get up into the teens and 20s here, this is really when Studebaker was building some of their finest products. This 1924 Light 6, you see, this is actually bodied by the Shanghai Horse and Motor Company of Shanghai, China. This is custom coach work. See kind of the pagoda influence there, and just one of the crown jewels of our collection.
Wow.
I love the color.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a stunning car. The Rockney automobile was another product of the Studebaker Corporation. The Rockney was named for Coach Newt Rockney, Notre Dame football coach, part-time. And we get so many Notre Dame folks are through here, and they're surprised to hear that, oh, wait, there's an automobile called the Rockney. And yep, we got one right here. Sadly, it was only produced for 2 years in 1932 and 33.
Yes, continue.
Get up into the 30s. We have a number of Studebaker presidents here, really their most luxurious model. These are all certified as full classics by the Classic Car Club of America.
That's beautiful.
9 presidents up into, we have the President Roadster here.
You know, in all of the big car shows that they have these early cars like this era of cars, you just don't see very many Studebakers going across the block.
Yeah, it was not an area that Studebaker was not Packard by any stretch. I mean, this was the top of their market rather than the bulk of their market. But yeah, there's still some of the finest cars. You look at the basis, the engines for these cars were used in Studebaker's Indianapolis 500 racing team, for example. They were really putting out a quality product. And
apparently horsepower, too.
They knew how to build a pretty powerful engine that would hold together for a 500-mile race.
Yeah.
And this is one of our newest acquisitions over here, a 1938 Commander convertible sedan.
Ooh, love that.
Mm-hmm. The color is tulip cream. I wish we built that color today.
Yeah, no kidding. It's beautiful.
So we're going to move on to some of the newer stuff. We'll get to the Hawks in just a moment. We're doing a featured exhibit on Brooks Stevens. Brooks was an industrial designer who did a lot of work for Studebaker. This is the Studebaker SS. This was the prototype for what became the Excalibur motor car. And it was originally built as a show car for Studebaker based on a 1930s Mercedes look, if you will, but it's all built on a Studebaker chassis with Studebaker components. And unfortunately, it never came to production, but we're delighted to have that here as part of the exhibit.
Oh, how cool! Yeah. Where did you guys find that car? How did it come into your collection?
That is actually just on loan to us. Actually, the Brooks Stevens family still maintains a collection, and we were able to get that.
And that's cool. That's my question. Are these on loan from private owners, or are these all belong to the museum or from other individuals?
Most of the things we saw you before the SS belong to the museum. This one is just on loan for the duration of the feature exhibit.
So that's the only one, or are there many others that are on loan?
We're going to run upstairs here and look at some more of the newer vehicles for a moment here.
Well, good. We'll get us closer to the radio signal from his cell phone.
Hopefully that'll work.
Yeah, hopefully it will. Yeah, those darn roofs have a way with preventing really good transmission all the time. That's okay. We're fine. I love to have. Wouldn't you love to have that really nice red sign there which says Lark on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that a neon sign?
It is.
Yeah,
it is, because we have a friend of ours that owns a museum of his own called the Hemi Hideout here in the Houston area, and he is big into neon, and he would love to have that Lark.
Yeah, if he'd have found it before you did, he'd have had it.
No doubt.
It wouldn't be there.
Okay, continue on.
Yeah, we're up looking at the Brooks Stevens Mid-Century Master is the exhibit, and we feature some of Brooks' earliest work from the Paxton Phoenix, the car right behind me, to a Willis Jeepster, up to a series of prototypes he made for Studebaker back in the early 60s.
Including the Miller High Life sign over here.
Yeah, another one is. If you have an Oscar Mayer hot dog and wash it down with some Miller High Life, you just come into two of Brooks' designs right there at one time.
Well, it's the champagne of bottled beers.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. Right now.
Now, why is the Jeepster in there? Because it's his collection?
That was his design?
His design portfolio. He started, really, the Jeepster was the first domestic automobile design he completed, and then he worked on, we just saw the Paxton Phoenix. That was the next undertaking that he and his team were trying to market. Unfortunately, it never went into production. This is the only one that was built.
Beautiful car. And what year was the Paxton Phoenix?
1954.
Very much styled ahead of its day.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it's actually powered by a Porsche 356 engine. It's a really, a rear engine, a very, very advanced automotive design.
Wow. Cool. Almost like a Buick.
Or Cadillac.
Yeah, or Cadillac, yeah.
For Harley Davidson, the 49 Harley Davidson Hydroglide. A lot of the styling work on the bike was handled by his company.
So he was quite wide-ranging in the transportation field.
Yes, he was. The Evinrude outboards, that kind of
boomerangs.
Yeah, the boomerang pattern you see on the Formica countertops from the 50s and early 60s. That was also one of Brooks's designs as well.
How cool is that? Yeah.
So he bought into the Art Deco look.
And they created it.
Well, we get up into the 60s. look at Brooks created these three cars for Studebaker, kind of proposals for what the new Studebaker models might have looked like. He did this station wagon proposal, he did a sedan proposal, and also a two-door sports model called the Scepter. And normally those cars would have been destroyed, but thankfully Brooks saved them for his own private museum, and he had that museum till the mid-1990s, just north of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We were able to acquire the cars when that museum closed.
Look at the headlights that are on those cars that are those headlights weren't legal in the States until into the 70s, where they finally moved away from the square round headlights. How cool is that?
To have a special tubular headlight by Sylvania, which basically amounted to they went to the hardware store across the street and got a fluorescent light too.
How funny.
So do those three prototypes, do they run? Do they drive?
They are rollers. They have drivetrains, and they were initially operational just so to facilitate loading and unloading, but by no means should they be considered roadworthy.
Gotcha.
And what's the gray one behind you?
That is the only Bendix car you'll ever see. Bendix was a South Bend company that was doing a lot of component supply for the automobile business. And Vincent Bendix decided he wanted to build an automobile, and he created the Steel Wheel Corporation. That's the logo that Joe just showed you there. And that's what the car was built as, the SWC. And it never went into production. It was actually never shown in the United States, because Vincent Bendix did not want his biggest customers, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, to think he was entering into competition with them.
It's got a little Jaguar look to it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, a lot of people think Chrysler Airflow when they see it, very similar.
How many miles are you guys from the Henry Ford in Detroit?
I'd say about just under 200 miles, about 180 miles.
Oh, nice.
It's a good road trip.
I was just going to say, what a great road trip. Go to Detroit, see the Henry Ford, and then come and see the Studebaker Museum. I will tell you that I am thoroughly impressed. What a great venue you've got there, great display, and more importantly, what you've got inside there.
Yeah, we're about 180 miles from
There's
Ford.
one of my favorites, the Avante.
You didn't let him finish.
He never does.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
We're 180 miles from the Henry Ford, or about 100-some miles from Gilmore, just down 100 miles from Auburn Ford Duesenberg, and also the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum.
Nice. Well, Andrew and your assistant there behind the camera, thank you guys so much for giving us a tour today. We're out of time, but we want to encourage all of our listeners and viewers to be sure and stop by the Studebaker National Museum there in South Bend, Indiana. Go online and get all of the information. Thanks again. It's great to talk to you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
And enjoy the rain while you got it, because we need it really bad. Send it down this way. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How cool.
Yes.
Yeah, neat.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us anytime, shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for the cruise-in calendar, of which we have some cruise-ins going on. I went to Craig's cruise-in last week.
How was it?
It's packed every weekend.
Yeah.
It's really popular.
How far do they fill that parking
All the way.
Oh, yeah, it goes wraps around the bank.
It's impressive.
Cool. So were you handing out hero cards?
I was not, but please go ahead.
You need to get hero cards.
No, I don't. Please go ahead with the cruise-in calendar.
So let's see. The Journey Community Church monthly show and shine in Lumberton, Texas, is this afternoon at 4 p.m. All-American Muscle at Kroger's on 99. Fuzzle Road, this starts at 5 p.m. tonight. Nifty 50s, of course, goes from 5 to 10 p.m. off of Buckthorn in the Woodlands. Classic car only, $10 entry fee. Buddha Show and Shine at Cabela's on the Frontage Road in Buda, Texas.
Buda.
It's an open car show. Taco and Chili at 6510 West Little York. Open cruise in and leave the windows open. The Car Show and Slow Cal Speed Shop in Waco, Texas is also tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. Ocean View Classics meet at Sylvan Beach Park in North Bayshore, LaPorte is tomorrow at 8 a.m. Car meetup and at the True Value in Willis, Texas is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Let's see, the Twin Peaks meet at the Twin Peaks in Shenandoah, right there off of 45 North, is tomorrow, goes from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tomball Locals Car Meet at Kohl's starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. The Car Church at Segundo Coffee Lab off of Milby in Houston starts tomorrow at 8 a.m.
All right, thank you, sir. Time now for this hour's car review. We looked at the 2023, 2023 Lincoln Navigator. Available trim levels are the base, the reserve, and the black label. I had the 4x4 black label. This is a standard SUV, and it's nice. How many passengers? Up to 8, including the driver. It was updated last year, and it was all new for 2018. They've got it sorted out. The L model of this, I did not have it, but the L model gives you an extra foot of length and expands the cargo area and increases fuel capacity from 23 to 27 gallons. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Exterior features: cohesive, straightforward, conservative styling. Beautiful grille with sophisticated headlight design. Horizontal tail lights that stretch across the entire width of the tailgate. Navigator callouts on the upper fenders. What I liked, the exclusive 22-inch black label wheels. L. Ooh. What could use improvement? Check to make sure it fits in the garage.
Yeah.
Because it's big. Interior highlights. Big new infotainment screen sits atop the center AC vents. Rather unique. Floating center console allows storage under the front of it. Women with big purses, it's perfect for that. Over-the-top seating adjustments with massage. Beautiful leather surfaces and Alcantara headliner. Cargo trunk room. Massive, especially with the L model. What I liked, the interior woodwork in it. Oh, yeah. And when I get to the price, you'll understand. What could use more improvement? More time with it.
Wow.
In other words, let me just go ahead and have it for a month. Engine is only a 3.5 liter, but it is a twin turbocharged 6-cylinder with 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. It acts like a big V8. 10-speed transmission in it. It'll tow between 8,300 and 8,700 pounds, depending on, four-wheel drive, the L model, Gas mileage, 16 miles per gallon city, 22 highway for combined to 18. I got 17.5 over 370.5 miles.
Pretty good.
What I liked about it, plenty of power out of the twin-turbo V6. What could use improvement? Well, Cadillac offers that big V supercharged V8. Why not do something like, how about put the Coyote engine in it? Just saying. Supercharged.
Well, I think Ford doesn't put a V8 in that full-size utility, whether it's at the Ford or the Lincoln brand. It's all EcoBoost is the only engine availability, but they have some higher horsepower versions of the EcoBoost as well.
Well, which I said is just put some more horsepower into it. That's all, and call it, V minus or
the
V
Raptor.
plus,
whatever,
or the Raptor. Yeah, ride and handling, the feeling of sitting on a living room couch. I don't know how else to put it. That just pretty much says you got a good, comfortable, velvety couch.
Feet up on the dash, beer in your hand.
What could use improvement? Can be a little floaty at times when it comes to the ride and handling.
It's a luxury vehicle.
Exactly, and that's what it's about. Base trim price, $112,300. Prices tested, $120,995. Yeah, baby. I had it for a week. Base model price, you can get in a Lincoln Navigator. Try to find one for $77,635.
That's the stripper.
The stripper, if you have a stripper in a Lincoln. Competitors to this vehicle in base price and size: Cadillac Escalade, $79,225. Jeep Grand Wagoneer, $87,995. And let's just go right on up to the top with the Lexus LX 600. Base price on that's $90,815. I could almost drive that in your mouth as you yawned, because it was a that's a open maw.
So, but can you tub it out?
I would imagine
and put a Coyote in it.
Absolutely. And that car's really nice. Golly, it's hard to believe that they make and sell those things. And I heard some really negative comments in some of the research that I was doing. People going, yeah, it's old school, man. Nobody buys it. No, people do buy them. I think that Lincoln, if I were to offer a suggestion to Lincoln, bump it up, man. Bump it up.
A little bit different styling, maybe. Yeah.
Well, even the same styling, but they never advertise it. They never talk about it. It's kind of, you see Cadillac Escalade being advertised all the time.
And that's what this one was designed to compete with, is the Escalade and Suburban.
Nobody even thinks about it anymore. Come on, man, get on with the times. Let's advertise this thing. You can advertise it right here, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Hello, Ford Motor Company. Welcome to the In Wheel Time Show, sponsored by Lincoln. That sounds right, doesn't it?
How'd you get to the studio? In my Lincoln.
In my Lincoln.
There you go.
Yeah. Just saying. Why not? All right. I got a couple of Hemmings Motor News Weekly Car Roundup. Some of the cars that sold on Hemmings. I got some for both of you. Let's start with Jeff.
All right.
1957 Cadillac Fleetwood.
Still my heart.
$22,000.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Exactly.
That's
And it's
not a
beautiful.
bad price
And
for
it's
that.
red. And it's got those big rubber bumpers up there.
Oh, it's got Dagmars.
Dagmars on it. How about the Cadillac from 1960, the Fleetwood model?
Yes, there we go again.
26250.
That's a boat.
Or how about the Cadillac Eldorado from 1975?
Even better.
It's another boat.
Convertible, $19,688.
I need like a 50-car garage.
You need to have a Cadillac collection, Jeff's Cadillac collection. All right, moving down the list. There's another one for you, Jeff. A 1969 Chevrolet Nova sold for $38,850. It's red, and it's a two-door, and it's bad to the bone. 93 Jeep Grand Wagoneer, Conrad, sold for $11,550. You could do that.
That's not a
Or
bad
here's
price.
one that really caught my attention for some reason. 83 Datsun 280ZX. How much did it go for?
9.
14.
26.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
It's all the money.
How about the 2009 Saturn Sky? My daughter, Katie, loved this car. Sold for $29,400. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sorry.
is.
Hopefully it was a red line with a turbo in it.
56 Lincoln Premier, which is kind of like the Batmobile, $20,003.
Wow.
Okay. And the last one, the 55 Chevy 150, sold for $63,800. And that is this week's Hemmings Motor News Weekly Car Sold Roundup. Hey, the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts are at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Loopy's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Loopy Tortilla. Loopy Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.